Hi, Shane here. You're watching Sam for God, and this is Mark. Check her out.
So hi guys, the other day I went to the Aldwych Theatre to see a new musical called Stephen Ward. Now Stephen Ward is a show composed by Andrew Lloyd Webber and is based on a true story of Stephen Ward back in the 1960s. Now for anybody who doesn't know, Stephen Ward was a British osteopathic doctor who was involved in the 1963 perfumer affair, which was a British public scandal that affected the Conservative government at the time. This whole musical revolves around Stephen Ward's life and the perfumer affair and how everything happened. It starts off with him meeting a girl called Christine Keeler. Now again, if you're good with political history, you've probably heard of her name. But then after he meets her, this girl's only 19, he asks her to go and live with him in his flat, and he then introduces her to loads of different people because he's a very well-known, famous doctor. A lot of people really respect him and go to him when they need to go, basically. And so the social circles that he hangs out in are pretty impressive, and one day he introduces Christine Keeler to another man called John/Jack Perfumer. This happened in July of 1961, I believe. Now John Perfumer was the Minister of the War at the time, so he was quite an important man, and him and Christine end up having an affair, and because he's in the public eye, it turns into a massive thing, and because Stephen Ward was the person that introduced them to each other, a lot of it goes back to him, unfortunately, and so without giving too much away, the rest of the story is pretty much about how this big scandal turns out and what happens to each of the main characters. I'm going to go through the cast list now. I've got the programme here with me so I can go and look at each of the names. Stephen Ward himself was played by Alexander Hansen. He was outstanding, an incredible actor really. He was so convincing in the role. He had a lot of charm and a great stage presence, and I really enjoyed his performance. I thought it was brilliant. Then we've got Christine Keeler's character, and she was played by Charlotte Spencer. I quite liked Charlotte in the role. I thought she was pretty good. She had a lovely voice. I mean, her voice was really nice. Her acting I thought was okay at parts, not too exciting, but overall she was really good for the role. It took me a while to warm to her, but I think that might just be the character. Then there's Mandy, and Mandy is Christine Keeler's friend. She also ends up living in Stephen Ward's flat for a while. She was played by Charlotte Blackledge, and I thought she was excellent. I really enjoyed all the scenes that she was in. Her and the girl playing Christine had great chemistry, and the scenes that they were in together were really fun. And I just thought she was really good. She really understood her character. John Perfumer was played by Daniel Flynn. Again, he was really good. I don't have anything else to say about him apart from that. He was good. I enjoyed his performance. The only other performer I want to name is Joanna Riding. Now, Joanna Riding played two people in the show. She played Valerie Hobson and also Mrs. Hewish. Valerie Hobson is meant to be John Perfumer's wife, and I really loved her in the role. I thought she was really good, although she has very small scenes and she's only in Act 2 as Valerie. But in the very short stage time that she had, I really enjoyed her performance. She also has an amazing song as Valerie, which I'll talk about later. In Act 1, she only basically played Christine's mother. I absolutely loved her in that role, but unfortunately she's only on stage for like 5 minutes, and because I mean Christine's mom isn't that necessary for the plot, so yeah, that was a bit sad. Joanna Riding in general is an incredible actress. I've seen her in quite a few different shows. She's won an Olivia Award and everything, so it's quite sad to see her be so underused in this show, in my opinion. But I suppose that's not really anybody's fault because there's not very many characters that she could have played in this show, I think. Anyway, talking about the songs now, I thought the score was really good. I'm a big Andrew Lloyd Webber fan. I know a lot of people don't really think he's quite overrated and stuff, but I really enjoy Andrew Lloyd Webber's music. Most of his shows, I think, are outstanding. I mean, the music for it anyway. And this was no exception. I mean, all the nice Andrew Lloyd Webber melodies that everybody's familiar with were in there. Some of them were a bit repetitive, I've heard some people say, and I kind of agree with them. But they're very easy on the ears, they're really nice to listen to, and that's why I love Andrew Lloyd Webber. I loved the score for this, I really did. It wasn't exciting, I'm not going to go necessarily buy the cast recording straight away, but I enjoyed it, I thought it was really good. And there were a couple of great songs in there. One of these songs is called 1963, and this is at the end of Act 1, and Christine and Mandy sing it together at Stephen Ward's flat. That was definitely one of the highlights. It's such a fun, catchy song, and the two girls look like they're having a lot of fun on stage, so yeah, I really enjoyed that scene. It was a nice kind of last scene to the first act. Then there's also that song that Valerie sings, Joanna Riding, like I said before, and that one's called I'm Hopeless When It Comes to You. I absolutely love that one. It's a great ballad, and Joanna Riding sang it beautifully. I really enjoyed that one. It's just a shame that I just didn't really care too much for her character when she sang it, because I didn't really know much about her character. There wasn't much character building going on before that, so the song was beautifully sung, but it didn't really play with my emotions or anything, so that was a bit of a shame. But yeah, all the other songs are really good as well. I did genuinely enjoy the score. It wasn't anything special, but it was nice. Talking about the sets, there isn't very much to talk about really, because most of it is done using projections, so there isn't anything physical on stage really, maybe apart from like a table somewhere, but apart from that it's mainly just projections, and I don't really know how I felt about it. To be honest, I quite liked it, I think. It was something different because the projections weren't just done on like a flat screen, it was done on curtains and like moving things, and it looked pretty cool, it looked nice. A lot of people have said that they've done the easy thing and just kind of decided to do everything by projections, but I don't think that's necessarily why they did it. I think it genuinely adds to the plot and the story because it is a very serious story and it's a very simple show, and to have a lot of props and sets on stage would have made it a bit distracting for the audience to understand the plot itself. So I think it actually works pretty well with the projections, and I personally quite liked it. And also, the Aldwych Theatre isn't that big of a theatre, it's quite a small theatre and the stage is quite small, so yeah, it worked. I thought for what it was, it did the job and I enjoyed it. The first scene's really interesting though in Act 1. When the curtain goes up, you see a lot of waxworks on stage, and one of those people, one of the waxworks, is Stephen Ward, Alexander Hansen, and he's the only waxwork on that stage that's played by a real human being, Alexander. All the other waxworks are actual genuine waxworks, so it took me a while to figure that out because at first I thought they were all proper actors on stage dressed up as waxworks, but no, they're all waxworks apart from Stephen Ward. So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting because I was a bit creeped out by one of the waxworks. It was literally like staring into me. I was in row, I think, 3. And I was just looking at his eyes, and his eyes obviously weren't moving because it wasn't a real person. And I was like, what the hell is that? And then very soon I figured out that they were actual waxworks, and yeah, I thought that was quite fun, so I thought I'd mention that. Anyway, the show itself, I'm afraid, I didn't like as a whole. I thought it was mediocre at best, to be honest. And I don't really know why that is. I mean, maybe I just wasn't into the story, I don't know. But to be honest, I actually found the historical, political stuff in it quite fascinating. It just wasn't told very well, in my opinion. I genuinely didn't care about any of the characters, and that's not good when it comes to musicals. The only character that I probably cared about a little bit was Stephen Ward himself. And that's not down to the book or the writing in this musical, it's down to Alexander's performance. So yeah, I thought the book itself was quite weak. The music was good, the direction was really good, but it wasn't enough to make the show great, in my opinion. I mean, let's put it this way, would I like to see the show again? No, not really. Am I glad I saw it? Not particularly, but I suppose it's good because I was very curious and I'm glad that I saw it because of that. Did I enjoy it? Parts of it, maybe a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I almost felt a bit bad for the cast at the end. I only hope that they saw something in the show that I missed because it would be awful to be working on a show that you don't really like, and from what I could see, this show isn't that good, so yeah, I mean, everybody clapped for the actors at the end because they were good. I mean, the cast in the show is great. That's not the problem. The show itself is a problem, I think. But yeah, I don't know. That was going to be my last proper West End musical of 2013, but because I really didn't like it, now I'm going to go and see Billy Elliot tonight because I feel like I want my last West End show to be a good one, and Stephen Ward just wasn't that. I very rarely make negative reviews on this channel, and that's because I don't want to discourage people to go and see shows. And I'm not going to discourage you from seeing the show because some people have seen it and some people have enjoyed it, so you might like it. Like I said, the music is good, and if you like Andrew Lloyd Webber's music, then it's definitely worth watching at least once. And if you're interested in Stephen Ward and the history behind it, then again, you might want to go and see it anyway because it's just interesting for that matter alone. So yeah, that's all I have to say really. I don't think it's going to last very long in the West End, and I for one wouldn't be too sad if it goes. But yeah, if you have seen it or if you're planning on seeing it, let me know in the comments below, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!